I'm Cosmic Griffin.
And I'm X.
Today, we want to showcase every overhaul of our game since the last devlog. First off, we appreciate the amount of viewer engagement in the last video. It means a lot to us, and some of it actually helped us in some development choices. We'll touch on that though throughout the video. Starting off with the biggest change you may have already noticed, our first overhaul is the visuals of the game. We started the process of changing our visuals by gathering a large variety of textures from Ambient CG and Polyhaven, which contain tons of great Creative Commons textures that have PBR and are high quality. Links to these sites will be in the description below.
To nail down this pixelated look, I created an Uber shader wrapping around URP lit. We can also control the metallic smoothness or even generate them if need be. And it's very a powerful tool to nail down the consistency of the PBR materials across the different sites we got. It really is becoming some like crazy Minecraft shader look. You know, the accurate PBR materials, and then the low poly pixelated texture hides the seams between the texture transitions, and I think it's, you know, pretty eye candy. Also, look at this AAA game graphics menu. What? Like, look at this. Oh my gosh, guys, modern games are so blurry. Well, guess what? You can play no TAA, no anti-aliasing. Whoa! But seriously, you could push it down very far. Look at this. This is my 1660 Ti laptop, and it's still pretty good performance.
Visual effects have been toned down, and these changes were due specifically to viewer feedback from the previous video. We reduced the visual clutter of the rocket's trail, so it's easier to see when shooting. We also reduced the muzzle flash as well when shooting, so it doesn't obstruct the player's vision in the center of the screen.
Another big change is the UI. You know, maybe it's a bit like too modern clean, but you know, we wanted something where you look at it, it's like, oh, that's my health, oh, that's my combo. You know, very fast, very fast. Like, look at this old UI, what the... You know, it is an evolution from it, but like the old UI was everywhere. You know, we have a set color palette now, we have a set aesthetic. Also, yeah, see, you saw the video settings. We also have the game settings. Customize everything you want here. Crosshair, boom. Whoa, look at this. You can change the color of the gun. Whoa, we're gonna charge $10 each time you touch the slider. They're easy cosmetics.
Another one of the biggest changes of our visual overhaul is the enemies being fully textured, one of our long-term goals that I mentioned in the previous video. All enemies are now uniquely textured and stand out accordingly from one another. They all also have unique emissive textures on them. This makes it easier to tell enemies apart when moving quickly during combat. We have a new gun model as well. The model needed to convey that it was 3 weapons in one: a rocket launcher, a minigun, and a shotgun. The model is unique in design, while also retaining a bit of the pronged look and shape as a nod to the classic Quake rocket launcher. The model before this one looked a bit... so it was scrapped in favor of this more simplistic design. I believe that it conveys the look of a beefy weapon while also leaving the player's vision unobstructed.
Such a big thing since the start of the project. We've been balancing the gameplay loop. I think this iteration of solutions really made aggressive combat rewarding.
One of these balances and mechanics is the way health worked. Last devlog, you may have noticed that there were health pickups placed around the arena in the video, which showed up in between waves. While it worked in the beginning, the game expanded to the point where this manual placement required too much forethought and constant balancing of the slightest change of a combat encounter or expansion of the map.
So expanding on that, Bullet Hell, 3 strikes you're out, HP pips, enemy drops health like in Doom. Picking up the charges fills up a separate meter, and on complete of the meter, it gives you back the pip you lost. To survive, you really have to get that map control in order to secure the charges dropped at enemy.
Shielding's also been changed as well. It is now a single pip that tanks all damage to your health bar, prevents combo from reducing on hit, and prevents losing progress of your hypermeter's next charge. It can only be gained when filling your health charge meter while at full health. To balance the power that this has, the shield runs out over time, so during combat you still need to collect health charges to make sure it doesn't run out before you get hit. HyperAbilities and the hypermeter are something that weren't introduced in the last devlog, but were faintly present in the gameplay. The hypermeter charged through kills, and originally it would lose charge over time, but this didn't fit the flow of combat and made it near impossible to gain charge in between kills if you didn't kill fast enough. Similar to HP, the hypermeter now increases through charges which drop on an enemy's death, and the amount increases based on the combo you have. The only way to lose hypermeter charge now is if you get hit by an enemy, which resets your progress towards your next charge. We hope this promotes even more aggressive gameplay by the player when it's playable for the public. The hypermeters charge fairly quickly to promote the use of the abilities in combat and dissuade being stingy with it.
As of recording, we have 2 HyperAbilities, the railgun and the flamethrower. Your comment right here really did put the railgun in our to-do list. It's not the exact suggested implementation, but we made it powerful. It pierces, it knocks them back, activates Super Combine. This thing wrecks. So we think you should work a little bit to use it. So yeah, thanks for the suggestion. Keep up the freaking comments. Ooh, actually, it's hype.
Movement and rocket jumping got some changes since the first devlog as well. For starters, we took viewer feedback to heart and nerfed the dash so it couldn't be spammed anymore, and made it so that you were expected to use more movement mechanics instead. The blast intensity of the rocket was increased to make sure the player gains more height in their rocket jumps, and the rocket is now able to cancel out any downwards velocity. So rocket jumping veterans can rejoice, because now rocket jump chaining is easily achievable, so long as you don't end up flying faster than the rocket. Audio has gotten its own overhaul as well. Previously, we only had a few sounds in the game. Recently though, Zarhantix did an audio pass for everything in the game, ranging from all player sounds to all of the enemies. There's a lot of power held in the sound of a game, and a lot of work has been done to make sure it's both informative in combat and satisfying to hear. For the player, there are now new weapon sounds and auditory cues for when dash is recharged, when they take damage, gaining health charge and a pip, as well as hyper abilities being ready to use.
Enemies are also reworked to reduce their aimbot. Back then it was just, oh, B minus A, there's that direction. It's literally the aimbot direction right to the player. Now they have to turn and they respect their forward direction, so they can't just shoot completely to the left or behind them. They can't do that anymore. This change really made strafing at an enemy way more consistent and rewarding. For the scoring system, we were gonna include bonuses for like multi-kill and super combine juggling of enemies, but we found it too forceful on how you have to beat an encounter to maximize the score. So now it's just straight up, the faster the kill, the higher your combo and the more points you get. This will separate the alright players from the great players, because I think it's pretty manageable to keep yourself alive with the HP charge, but taking damage reduces a combo, and if you die it completely resets your combo. Then at the end of the level you're graded for the score, the time and the kills you got. And then there's also this pickup, the stopwatch combo extension. You pick it up, it extends your combo like killing a 0 score enemy. And maybe it's a yellow paint moment, but it really does like, oh yeah, here you go. Here's a suggestion on how you do the parkour to get past this small traversal puzzle. And I think it helps pace and helps you flow through the level. Like playing through it really reminded me of like a rhythm game. You can get a perfect 16x combo the whole way. But I don't know about you, I'm getting that P rank, getting the max combo, it's fun.
There will be a demo coming out for the game soon. There is no definitive date yet, but we'll post another video when it's released. Something I'd like to touch on from the last video is our long-term goals, specifically the amount of maps and music tracks we would have hoped to achieve by April. We realized mid-February that these goals wouldn't be achieved by April, but this isn't actually a bad thing. Leading up to this devlog, we shifted gears from creating just maps and content to tirelessly spending the past almost 2 months optimizing and finalizing most of our game systems while using one good map as a guinea pig. Bumping out quality content will be even easier than it would have been without this work being done. Be sure to watch the next video so you can learn about some of these tools in our mapping workflow. It's really interesting. We would like to invite any viewers to join our game dev Discord. There you can stay informed about the game easier, and it'd be nice to see who's interested in the game and what your thoughts about it are. If you enjoyed the video and want to show some support, leave a like and subscribe. It'll help us out. Stay tuned until next time.